Hey guys, it's Peter Jordan with Sunrise Marine of Alabama here on the Lost Angler channel. And today what we're going to look at is how to build your own tapered leader for fly fishing. Down here we do a lot of speckled trout and redfish and bass fishing. And building the leader the right way can make it easier to turn over a fly on a windy day or make it easier to handle a big fish out of cover. Now you can go to the store and you can buy these tapered leaders and they're wonderful setups, but they get pretty costly pretty fast. So today we're going to look at how to do it yourself, save yourself a ton of money, and customize it depending on what conditions you're faced with. So stick around, we're going to show you how. So what we're going to look at today is we're going to use a fairly heavy setup. So we're going to heavy butt section, heavy transitional section, and a fairly heavy tip section. This is going to be great for bass and redfish down here. Now, to this you can add a lighter tippet. So what we're going to start with is Stren Magnethin. Now it doesn't matter what your brand is. You pick a favorite brand, whatever you like. Stren down here just seems to work for us fairly well. The guys here, Hunter and I, we've tested it fairly well. We feel like it knots up well, doesn't kink up, and we like it. But anyway, we're going to start with a butt section of 30 pounds. We're going to go to a transitional section of 20 pounds. Then we're going to go to a bite tippet of 15. Now, if I want to, let's say the fish are kind of spooky, I can drop from 15 down to an 8 or 15 down to a 10. You don't want to transition any further down than 8. Actually, 10 would probably be my stopping point, to be totally honest, because then your diameters of line are just too different. But down here, it's not a big deal. Now, we're going to use monofilament for the two butt sections. For the butt section, the transitional section. For the tippet section, we're using fluorocarbon. And the reason we're doing this is the part that's closest to the fly, what the fish are going to see. The reason we didn't use all fluorocarbon is because we wanted it to, the back butt sections, the heavy parts, to float. So we can use one leader and fish topwater flies or streamers. So that's what we did. So to start out, we're going to do a long section of the butt section. All right. So I'm going to show you how I measure this out. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure this out. I'm going to grab this right here in my fingers, and then I'm going to stretch this all the way out of my arms to here. Now, I don't go tip to tip, okay? So this, just because of the way I am, when I stretch this out, this is about 5 feet. From here, I'm going to cut this off. Next, I'm going to go to my 20. Now, we're going to set this off to the side, and we're going to be able to use this later. So just remember this, all right? Now, we're going to the 20-foot section. For the 20-foot section, we want to do a longer section. And the best way to do that is take it right here, and then we're going to come from this shoulder, or from the center of your chest, out to right here, okay? And this is a really nice setup here. This is going to be about, when you're done, about 2 feet altogether. Now remember, you're going to take out some line whenever you tie your knot, so you're going to lose some inches there, so not a big deal. All right? And then finally, our tippet section. This is the 15 pound, and I'm going to come from here, shoulder length, out to here. And so that gives me about 1.5 feet to work with. Altogether, when it's all said and done, my leader should be around between 7 and 8 feet. You can do up to a 9-foot leader, and if you had to transition into a lighter tippet, that's that extra foot, and that works out really well. So we're going to reset the camera, and we're going to show you how to tie all this up. So we're going to start with the butt section. Now the butt section is the longest section, and the reason we want it to be the longest section is it's the heaviest, so it's going to turn over the fly the best. And then your transitional sections are what just kind of allows that fly to lay out. So to start out, we're going to use a perfections loop. And you can go on YouTube and you can find plenty of tutorials on how to do a perfections loop. So we're going to bring it right here, between our thumb and forefinger. We're going to bring the loop over the top of it right here, okay? And then, make sure you guys can see, I'm going to bring it around my finger here. And then I'm going to bring this tag end over the top of what I've done. Okay? And then I'm going to bring it around here between my finger and this loop right here. So between the finger and the loop, bring it right through like so. Now, when I'm done, I'm going to pull that piece I wrapped around my finger off, and I'm going to pull it through right here. And just keep it nice and easy. Play it loose and pull tight. If I've done it correctly, it's going to sit off at a 90-degree angle, a perfect 90-degree angle, hence the name Perfection's Loop. If it's not perfect, it's not a big deal. It'll hold. This is a 100% knot. It's a non-slip loop, so you know it's going to hold up. So now just get you a cheap pin, or a nice pin, whatever makes you happy, and just pull tight, just like so. And then when we're done, we're going to trim off all the tag ends. So this is what we're going to connect, our loop-to-loop connection from our fly line to our leader and butt material. Now, we're going to take the rest of our butt material, we're going to pull it off. Now we're going to grab our 20-pound test monofilament right here. To get these two to come together, we're going to use a blood knot. Once again, a lot of great tutorials on YouTube. Now this is a shorter section. This is about 1.5 feet, 2 foot, somewhere in there. And the reason we do this is what we're going to be trimming off constantly, clip, 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 to add more tippet section. This, the heavy 30 and the heavy 20, these are going to last multiple fishing trips, definitely last an entire day, and I can add more and more tippet as I need to. So just keep this in mind. This is your sacrificial piece. So you want to start out a little bit longer than it would be perfect, if you know what I mean. And this will just set everything up. So we're going to cross these over one another. I'm going to go around once, twice, 3 times. For the heavier sections, you want to do less loops. The lighter sections, you want to do more loops. Not a whole lot, but a couple more. Too many loops will make it all bind. Alright, and we're going to look. You see how I stuck it in between these two right here. Went right in. Okay, it's going to hold this loop open for us. Now I'm going to change my fingers so that it's holding everything together, just like so. Okay? Hope you guys can see that. Then I'm going to wrap this one around. Same way. And we're going to come up. Now, this is very important. Make sure you can see this. We are going to go in the opposite way we came out of the other one. So it's going to form a nice figure 8. The tag ends going this way on this way and this way on this one. Now, quick trick. To keep from building friction in the knot when it cinches down, because this is a clinch knot, what we're going to use is a little bit of Carmex. Chapstick will work. Anything in the world you want to, just to keep it from building some friction, will work. I'm going to take it right on here. And I'm going to rub it on there. And what that's going to do is, as this goes down, it's going to not have as much friction. I'm actually going to go ahead and still wet it with a little bit of saliva once I get a little tension on it, like so. Just put it in your mouth, get nice and gooky, and pull tight. And it is nice and smooth. There's no binding, like so. And it's going to give you a nice, even setup. And this means, because it's still going to have a little bit of that Carmex in the center, when you have a big fish and it takes and it hits real hard, it's going to, when that knot cinches down more, it's not going to introduce the friction. When you introduce friction into your knot, that's when it breaks every single time. Now, going to the fluorocarbon. Now, real quick, I want to point out, this is fluorocarbon. Do not use fluorocarbon coated. It won't hold. The blood knot won't hold at all. It'll just pull through. Now, you can do this all monofilament with this leader, or all fluorocarbon. Just remember, fluorocarbon sinks. We do it this way so that it's a great multi-purpose one. And so we should be in good shape. Alright, so now, the last section. Same thing again. Loop them on top of each other. Okay? Or lay them on top. And just go over it. About 3 or 4 times. And then we're going to come over to the other way. Once again, going right through the center. Let's make sure we can see that. This is right through the center. Okay? Then I'm going to go opposite. A few nice turns. I'm going to pull it right on through. Now look, you see this? I'm pulling this and it's opening up the loop for my tag in on the other side. And it's going to go in opposite of the way this one came out. Take some time. Double check yourself. Make sure it's forming a nice figure 8. We're going to add a little bit of tension to it. Now we're going to add that Carmex. Put it in your mouth. Get it all nice and goopy up. Then pull tight. And pull nice and smooth, okay? If you're worried it's going to bind, you can take it and slide this down just a little bit. Let the top end, slide it one way or the other. And boom. So I've got nice transitional pieces. Next thing you want to do, if you've wiped all the Carmax off, just take it, wrap it in your hands, cinch it tight. This is also a good point to know if your blood knot is going to break. And this one's pretty stout, so I'm not worried about it at all. Now, the next thing, just remember that these little tag ends right here, you can see them, these are going to catch on vegetation and they're going to make a mess of it. So we want to trim these as close as we can to the knot itself, because the fact is these tag ends are not actually going to help you any. The tag ends are actually not going to help you any with keeping the knot. It just doesn't do any good. The internal strength of the knot's already been made. So we're going to clip this nice and close. And then come on down. Careful not to hit the barrel of your knot here. Last little section right here, and I'm just going to clip off the back end of our Perfections loop. Boom. And there you have it. This knot, this one right here, is probably going to be about right at a 9-foot leader. So anywhere between 7 to 9 is just fine. 7 is the minimum for FFF, the Federation of Fly Fishers, as far as doing casting tests and leader tests and all that kind of stuff. Most people like to have it closer to that 9, just so it's the length of the fly rod. And this gives me a lot of times that I can cut off a fly, put on a new piece, cut off a fly and retie over and over again. Now, putting these in your tackle bag or in your fly pack. So here's another little trick we've got. At the Big World of Wally, the great Walmart store, you can get these little tiny craft bags. And I want to say they're like $2 for like 200 of them. They're a heap. We're going to take the tip end and we're going to come wrap around our fingers over and over and over and over. As big and loose of a loop as you can do, and you'll be happy. Then when I come around to the end down here, I'm just going to wrap it through a couple times, just enough to keep it in order. Alright, and then I'm going to slide it in right here. Boom, there you go. Now you have a tapered leader, and to make sure you know which one you make, if you make different sections, just take a Sharpie marker and mark it. So I'm going to mark this one 30 pound M, 20 pound M, 15 pound F. So I know I've got 30 pound mono, 20 pound mono, 15 pound fluorocarbon. And you can reuse these bags over and over and over again. So essentially it's eternal. So hopefully that was helpful to you. And we'll see you next time on the water. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button. If you've got some questions, post them in the comments section. I don't mind answering them. Super happy to do it. We're going to try to put some more videos up on things like the Minn Kotas, the Garmins, little tips and tricks, all the kinds of stuff. Well, that went well. That we normally do around here when we're not working with our customers. We'd love to see you down here at Sunrise Marine of Alabama. We're down here in Daphne. And look forward to seeing you on the water.